Hello. So about 3 years ago now, I was about to start the gym. I was turning 16 years old, and that was when I started my gym journey, started going to the gym. I'm about to turn 19 now, so it's been 3 years. And I've changed a lot in 3 years. I've become a completely different person. Just every characteristic about me doesn't feel the same. I feel like a brand new, clean slate and new person. And in this video, I'm going to go through my full fitness journey, everything that I did, so you can walk away with three big takeaways, which will teach you how you can do this for yourself, how you can change as a person. If you just keep watching till the end, you'll get the one thing that changed me as a person, that actually got me all the results. And if I didn't have this one thing, it would never have happened. But let me start with the dawn of time, the first memories I have as a child. And one that really sticks out to me is when I was in nursery. So you're 2, 3 years old, or 4 maybe, I don't know, but you're quite young. And I don't really have many memories of anything, but I remember once being in this nursery. It was like a green hall, the carpet was green. And as we were sitting there, there's this bookcase on the side, and there's a gap. It's a bookcase, and then it's quite close to the wall, but it's not next to the wall. So there's a gap between the bookcase and the wall, so someone could fit in the book, the gap. And I don't remember who, what the kid looked like that went in the gap, but some shy little kid who was quite scared of everyone went in that gap, and I remember him cradling up like that and going in the gap, as he was quite just scared. And he went in that gap. I didn't care enough, and I don't remember any memories of that. But there was this Asian boy. He was the naughty kid. He was a scary kid. He was the one you wouldn't want to mess around with, because he was just a bad man in nursery, or 3 years old or whatever, and he was just on smoke. And I remember him sitting in the kid was sitting in the gap, and he just goes and sits in front of it and doesn't let the kid out. And at that moment, I remember feeling so bad for that little kid who was stuck in the gap. And I also thought, what if that could be me one day? What if he does that to me? I don't know why this is it's the clearest memory I have as a child. Not as a child, but as that little, as 3, 4 years old. And I remember a teacher coming over and just screaming at him. He was little, but I remember her just shouting so loudly at him. And I just had a lot of fear at that moment. One, for the teacher, is I don't like people shouting. And two, for the kid, I was scared that he may hurt me or do something to me. But that was my first ever memory. And that's not really relevant to anything, but I thought it was cool. And growing up, from that first ever memory and stuff to year 2, so what am I, 6, 7 at the time? From that point there, I had no inclination. I don't think I had any inclination for sport. I never felt I think back, I never thought about the sport back then. I didn't care about it at all. I remember in year 2, everyone would play football, all the boys would play football, and I'd just sit there and speak to these 2 girls and just hang around with them. I just didn't want to do sport. I didn't want to play football or do nothing like that. Instead, I just preferred to do other things. I preferred to play with a truck or something. I don't know why, but that's how it was. And it was that way. And I don't think I knew I was athletic. I don't think I knew I had a very big athletic potential in me. I was very just naturally gifted with sports and everything. As I don't remember ever doing sports. I don't remember ever racing anyone, ever doing anything really at year 2. I don't think you do that. You just do more beanbag throws and stuff like that. But my friend one day, my best friend at the time, he was doing karate, and we were leaving school, and you leave through the main gate, and I just remember him showing me a karate kick, him saying how he was good at karate or something, and he just does a kick in front of not hitting me, but just in front of my face to show me. And for some reason, I couldn't stop. I was I want to do karate. I've got to do karate. I'm going to do karate. I was so obsessed to do karate. I remember just wanting it. So I remember him throwing a kick and me just wanting to do karate. Me just being really hyper to do it. So obviously I asked my mom to do it. She says yes and all. And I remember my first ever karate session as well. You go in, and we're all tiny at the time. We're 6, 7 years old. So we called Red Dragons or something. And I was very shy. I was very I didn't like standing out at all. I didn't like stepping forward and being the center of attention like at all. And because you used to like when you threw a punch, you used to like have to do a scream like a ki. They called it like you went, ooh yeah, like every time you throw a punch, and I didn't want to do it. I remember maybe someone was telling me to do it, or I just remember people like you were meant to ki, and I didn't like doing that at all. I hated doing it, so I didn't do it. And and what's my fault? Oh yeah, I was just kept doing karate, and I kept doing it for quite a while, and maybe a year in or so. I didn't know how good I was. I didn't know how gifted I was really, because I was doing it and I was just doing it for fun. I thought I was like everyone else. I thought it was the same level as everyone else. And they do gradings where essentially you do it and then you get the next belt up. And I think they give every like young kid the next belt up. You never don't pass a grading. But I remember they called out each person's name, and they didn't call out mine for the whole list. And my heart's pounding. I'm like 6, 7 years old. Now I'm probably 8 or 9 at this. No, I'm probably 6, 7 years old at this time, and I am like scared. I thought I failed. I thought I messed up because they didn't call out my name. I was like, how have I failed? And there's like ranked, so it's like red belt and yellow belt and blue belt and green belt or whatever. And I don't know what belt I was on, but like last on the list they called out my name. And I got a bit of relief. But when they said I'm not going 1 belt up, I can skip a belt and go like 2 belts up or something. And that meant I overtook like everyone who I was training with, everyone who I was with. I was just like a lot above them. And like, obviously my mum was happy. My mum was like really joyful, and I was pretty happy. I was pretty like gassed and glad. And I think in that moment, in that time, I realised how good I was at things. And that sounds a bit cocky. I realised how good I was at sports, especially like karate and stuff like that. Especially like physical sports, not so much ball sports, just like more the physical stuff. As I don't know, I don't know, it just felt like I could just learn very quickly. I felt when someone showed me something, I just did it. It always looked the same, it always was the same thing. So yeah, I just kept doing karate, and I kept doing karate, and we were going, let me think, probably from year 2 to year 6, I was just doing karate, and I was doing pretty well at it. Like I was, yeah, just through that time, I was doing very well. I was getting better and better at karate. And as well as that, I left this, I don't know, I was sort of like a shy, just a shy sort of archetype in school where I was quite kind, but I didn't stand out really. I was only like the only coloured kid in my class at the time. So I always felt like eyes were on me. I always felt people were staring at me because I just wasn't the same as everyone else. Everyone was white versus I wasn't. And then we went, and I just kept going. But then I think it just turned into like I was that kid who was just built different to everyone else. I didn't think I was built different, but I was just that kid who was like the fastest in class. I was good at karate. I was never smart. I was never academic in any way, but I was just better than most people. You know what I mean? And I sort of became more my character. I saw myself as more just the fastest kid in school, just a kid who was just really good at sports compared to everyone else. I was never that good at like football or rugby or stuff like that. But if you put me in a race, I'd always know I'd win. If you put me in a fight, I'd always know I'd win. I just felt that's what I was good at, and that's what I strived. And a memory just came. I remember this boy was bullying my friend. And it's weird, the boy was like in a year below, but he was like menacing. He would just like fight everyone, and he was not scared of anyone. And I had glasses at the time. I remember him saying he would snap my glasses, and I felt a lot of fear. I was like, damn, I'm scared. I don't want to fight him. But I remember, I never fought him or nothing, but I don't know. I just remember being like wanting to fight people. Like I was sort of like, if it happens, it happens. You know what I mean? I was sort of just, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. But where was I? But I became athletic by like year 6. I think I was like a black belt, which is like I just developed very quickly, and I was good at karate very quickly. yeah, I think by like age 10, 11, I was a black belt, which is quite fast compared to most people. So then by year 6, like do SATs and all, I think I failed mine. I didn't do very well again, but I did them, and then I went into high school. And I went to a high school where I had one friend, and I didn't really have any. I had one friend in my whole high school year that I knew going into year 7, and I didn't know anyone else. And this is daunting, even if you're confident, even if you're like a cool kid, whatever. It's quite a daunting experience, and I think I didn't find it too daunting until I remember one day in my first year, my first class. It was geography. I hate geography for this. I was sitting there, and I think I was talking when I wasn't supposed to be, or I was talking when I wasn't supposed to be. Then she told me off a little bit, and as she was telling me off, I was like, okay, I won't do it again. And she just lost it at me, and she just had a go at me, and sent as everyone left, she kept me behind. She kept having a go at me, and when she was like, I'm putting a dot next to your name, because to let everyone know you're a misbehaving student or something, or to warn people about you. And I felt so sad that I went to the toilet and just bawled my eyes out and cried, because I honestly never had no one shout at me like that before, and no one be that horrible to me. And I hated it. I hated that teacher ever since that day. And Miss Bentley, her name is, I'll come for you if I ever see you. And yeah, I honestly, that killed my confidence. Like that, I don't know why that one situation made me so scared of everything, so scared of every teacher, so scared of like messing around and everything, but it killed my confidence completely. I was just like so scared going through high school, going through year 7, year 8. I wasn't like super shy, but I was shy. I wasn't standing out anymore. I just felt a lot weaker. I felt like I could be pushed around. I remember like people would mock me and I wouldn't do anything back for it. Whereas before I'd be happy to. Now I was just shy, scared sort of thing. And with that, when you go into high school, there's so many more people, you're usually not the fastest kid in school anymore. Usually there's one that's actually faster than you. And that happened to me. And seeing that sort of knocked my confidence again. So it's how I stupid, but just from a teacher shouting at me and me not being the fastest kid in school, I felt like I didn't really have anything. I felt like I wasn't the same person as I was before, and I lost all the stuff that I had, which was annoying. But yeah, those were the first 2 years of high school, so year 7 and year 8. And then year 9, COVID happened. It was, I don't know what year COVID happened, like 2020, 2022. Whatever year, 2020 it must have happened. And that year was year 9. I was well gassed. 2 weeks off school, was sick. I've just been so hyped. I was in maths class when I found that out. We're not going to school for 2 weeks, and go home. 2 weeks, I don't even know what I did. I think I just played Xbox a decent amount, but we only had one Xbox between me and my brother, so we'd have to share it, so I wouldn't be able to play it all the time. But when I did, I played Xbox a lot still, and we were playing all the time, and it was fun. I well enjoyed it. And that 2 weeks then turned into, I don't know, a full 2 years, or I don't know how even long it was, but that time was pretty blank for me. Like, I didn't do a lot. I remember going to the park and playing like tennis and football with my friends. That's about all I did, because there weren't much to do. You can play video games, have like 3 wanks a day, and go for a walk. That's like the only 3 things that I did that whole time. And yeah, I became everyone became quite like just playing Fortnite all the time and doing nothing, because what else can you do? So it was like that. And I didn't hate, like, I remember just being up late every night and just watching my phone, going on my TV, all this different stuff. And it made me, I don't know, it made me not really like myself. I don't know why, but I remember just one night, I was watching David Dobrik vlogs and my headphones died as I was watching them. And then like, I can't watch them anymore, and it's long and I'm not even tired, because I've been watching for the last 5 hours. And I just had to sort of sit there with my thoughts until my headphones recharge again. Pardon me. And as I was doing that, I just remember having like this thought of like, I don't really want to be me anymore. I wish I could be like a popular kid or someone else. I just don't really want to be me. And this thought just regurgitated, kept going around in my mind. And yes, and I wasn't particularly happy through COVID. It was fun. You got to play video games and stuff, but people say it was like the best time ever. I didn't find it. It was all right. It weren't bad. It weren't good. And the thing is, COVID though. But one thing I take away from COVID is it knocked my confidence a lot. Like you just become socially awkward when you don't go out much at all and you don't go anywhere. As I felt pretty awkward after I came back to school, after COVID ended. No, COVID didn't even end. Like after the 2 years of COVID, you come back to school. I felt pretty like awkward and pretty just shy, and I just didn't like it really. I didn't like. I just didn't feel like talkative anymore. It just wasn't nice. And coming back to school, I either came back in I think I came back in year 11. Or did I come back in year 10? I think I came back in year 10. No, I don't know, to be honest. I must have come back in year 10. I come back in year 10, and the next year of school was just normal. It was just all right. There wasn't much to it. I was trying to do sport, as I picked sport as a subject, and I really wanted to be good at sport, as I liked sport. I think I was still doing karate at the time. But I wasn't very good at it. I just remember not being good, like not being as good as everyone else. And we were all doing ball sports. We were doing like handball or football, and I just couldn't like click with them. I just didn't like catching. I didn't like throwing. In fact, all felt wrong to me. As like things like a push-up test or like a sprint test, I enjoyed. They were fun. But when I had to do like football, I was just, I can't be arsed. It's just boring. But we did like badminton and stuff. That was fun. But from school, from year 10, it was all the same really. In year 11, it was all the same. I think we got to January of year 11. So I'm having to revise for my exams, or I'm meant to, and that's when I turn 16. That's when I start to want to go to the gym and start thinking about the gym. And when I hit this point when I want to go to the gym, I tried the gym before. I went to like little council gyms where there's not many machines and you're not really allowed to lift the weights there. I went to those, but I never took those seriously. I just went and just walked on a treadmill for ages. So I didn't really class that as ever going gym. Instead, when I actually wanted to commit to the gym and I had a workout routine, it was January. I started going on my bike just by myself, just to like a gym quite near me. As I kept going, I couldn't fall in love with it at first. I didn't like it at all. I just like did it. I don't know, it was sort of I had quite a lot of discipline from doing karate for so many years. As I quit karate at that point, I was just going gym, and it wasn't bad, it wasn't good. Like I could just force myself to go. As I developed quite a good sense of discipline, and I started going gym every day. Not every day, like 3-4 days a week to be fair. And I kept going and going, and it got to a point where I just didn't fall in love with it. I wasn't enjoying it very much. I wasn't like getting into it I wasn't getting into it. And this was January, February, March time. I think about March time, me and my friends went to the gym together. This was the first time, as they were talking about a bench press competition and they invited me. I didn't even tell them I was going gym yet, as I wanted to I don't know, I just wanted to make the progress without telling anyone, as I feel telling people just did something to it. So I didn't tell them I was going gym at all. We went and we did a bench press competition. I remember they had to sneak me into the gym, and I was well nervous. Like I hated breaking laws and just doing bad things. My heart was pounding. I was well nervous. We got into the gym, and what did we do? We just did like a simple bench press. Actually, the first thing I remember was we went into the gym. We went into the changing rooms, and as I took my jumper off, I remember one of my friends. He was a bit of a dick, to be fair, but I just remember him laughing at me, him like sort of mocking it to the other people, like that I was pretty skinny and stuff. And I remember that feeling, like, you know when you know someone's laughing at you, but you just act like they're not, you act like you don't hear it. So I just took my jumper off and I left it normal, like nothing happened. But I remember him laughing at me and having this like sort of spite about him, like I wanted to beat him as one. And I also felt very like sad, shameful that I was skinny and I knew he was laughing at me. But we did that bench press session that day. We went and we all saw who could bench more. I remember one of my friends, one of my probably best friends there, Leandro, he was saying he could do more than me. He was going to gym for a little bit as well, and he was saying that he was going to beat me, and I was certain I was going to beat him. And we do it, and I actually beat him quite well, I think. I actually got quite up there. And there was 4 people, and the 3 people, I was 4th even, and the 3 people that beat me were 3 people who were like committed and going gym daily, and like everyone knew they were going gym. They were just much bigger than everyone else. And I was a 4th, and I was pretty proud of that, as I hadn't done gym much, and I was quite close to the 3rd person. I was only about 5-10 kg away from him. And it also made me realise I'm actually pretty blessed with genetics. Like, I can just, I just make progress quickly. I'm just pretty athletic. I'm pretty blessed with genetics, and I start to really appreciate that. And at that moment when we did that bench press that day, that really lit a spark under me. That really got me motivated to go gym. As I found the goal of 100 kg bench press, that was my goal. That was my everything. I just had to achieve that goal. And once I set my mind on that goal, once I was like, I've got to achieve that goal, I was like, I'm going to achieve it. Like, I committed 100% to it. As I said, I was in year 11. This is where you revise for your GCSEs, your final exams. And I knew I should revise for them, but I was like, sod that. I want that goal of a gym. That was my only goal. That was everything I wanted to achieve. And it wasn't like I didn't revise at all. Used to go to like the after school clubs where you revise, but I was more laughing with my friends in those. But to be fair, I didn't actually revise very much at all. I was going to say I did revise a bit, but I didn't. And I didn't revise, I just went gym. I remember sitting in maths class, sitting in like any class I was, and I just thought about the gym. I talked to my friends about the gym. I just cared so much about the gym. And that goal of 100 kgs, I just thought it would be an awesome goal to achieve. And I was just trying as hard as I could to achieve it. So I just set my mind on it. Like, I just commit 100% to it. I try as hard as I can to achieve that goal. I don't do karate anymore. I don't do none of it. I'm just like, I've got to achieve that goal. And at the same time that goal is happening, and it's sort of like March time, and I'm wanting to achieve it, I always had a cushy life. I always had like nothing, like I had a couple like grandparents and stuff die, but I never had anything like quite shocking, quite traumatic ever hit me. I knew this myself. I like remember just sitting there and saying like, my life's actually pretty like nice. Like, I've never had anything bad happen to me. And I still haven't to this day, but I remember my brother, through like COVID, through like the 4 years, just going pretty like ill. No, not after the 4 years, but the 4 years ended of COVID. No, did it? 2 years ended of COVID. Yeah, this must have been 2022. So the 2 years ended of COVID. And I started the gym then. So I must have started COVID at 14, in the gym at 16. And as that time, he went ill as well. He sort of got like, it's like bad like mental health issues really. And he couldn't really leave the house. He couldn't really leave his room. And it didn't really make sense to me, is how can that just happen to someone? How can someone like have seizures out of nowhere? It didn't like compute in my mind. I didn't understand how. I was like, can't you just snap out of it? That's what I like. It sounds very unempathetic, but I was like, can't you just stop it? That's just the only thing I thought. I didn't feel any sympathy. I was just like, why don't you just stop it? And at the same time this was happening, I was going gym and I had this goal. And a lot of times I had to leave my house. I had to stop. I had to like, leave my house really. Like, because he would want to be alone in the house, like, because he was like sort of mentally breaking down a bit and getting angry or getting mad or screaming, and he'd just want to be alone in the house. So that would force me to leave my house. That would force me to just leave and have to go somewhere. And I didn't really like living in my house at the time. I didn't like being around him or being around anyone really, as it was quite just traumatic just seeing so many different things, seeing seizures and stuff. And I was like, I don't want to live here. I don't like being here. And that just forced me to go to the gym more. It was definitely a bad thing that happened, but if I couldn't be in my house, I didn't know, it was like January, so it was peak winter, it was cold outside, I couldn't go park with my friends, I didn't want to tell anyone my situation, I didn't want to tell anyone what was happening, so I couldn't ask people to stay around their house. Instead, I just go gym. I go gym for like 3-4 hours daily, like every day. It was just a natural thing to do. My coping lesson for where I go was just for gym. That was my safe place. And that just meant me doing so many workouts, so many exercises. I just work out just for as long as I can. I remember once, I'm pretty certain, I was in the gym for about 3 hours, and then my mum called me, and she was like, "You don't have to leave the house for a bit. You can't be here for a bit." And then I'd go to the gym for like another 3 hours. And I had like a 6 hour session where I was just doing like gym, boxing. I was just doing everything. And that was most days of the week. Like I was in the gym for a long time just because I couldn't be in my house. And that did make me that made me work out quite a lot. And with this, I started to get closer to my goal. As I was going gym, I was just getting closer to my goal. I don't even know if it was the hours I was in the gym doing 3-4 hour sessions each day, but I was just going gym every day. Like I never missed days. Rest days were the worst thing in the physical world. I remember just once I had a rest day, I had to go for bloody walks all day, and I was so bored. Yes, I thought that 3-4 hours in the gym was so fun to me. It was so purposeful. As another point is, when you're in year 11, you don't have like meaning in your life. You don't have like you're doing GCSEs, but once you don't have GCSEs, once you don't have anything, your life's so boring, you don't know what to do. And I had this feeling too, but I had the gym. And the gym gave me so much life. I had this one goal of 100 kg, so I never felt lost. I was like, I'm achieving this goal, I'm achieving this goal. I won't stop until I achieve this goal. That's all I could think about. I was watching so many videos, so many diet tutorials, everything on achieving this goal. And I was going towards 100 kg. I was actually getting closer and closer to it. And I finished school, I finished GCSEs and all that, and probably a couple of weeks later, I hit 100 kg. I was gassed, like I achieved the goal, and it felt easy. I remember the day I did it, I wasn't planned. It wasn't like, I'm going to try 100 kg today. Just one of my friends said, why don't you try 100 kg? I did it, and it was easy. Like, I just did it out of nowhere, and I was like, that, and it felt good, it felt fulfilling. I was like, damn, I can bench 100 kg. But it was also like, okay, what now? I'm kind of bored, like, that was everything I was working for, and now I don't have it. So I set my next goal. I want to get to 100 kg of weight. I was so in love with the gym, because I was working out so much. I thought, why not be a pro bodybuilder? That would be such a fun job. Just go gym all day and then you step on a stage. And that was my goal, to like be a Mr. Olympia. I was thinking that would be so cool. And that made me set this goal of bulking up to 100 kg. And to get to 100 kg, I was 16 as well at this time, and to get to 100 kg, you gotta eat a lot of calories. I knew that, so I tried to eat 4,000 calories a day, and it wasn't healthy foods I was eating 4,000 calories a day on. I was eating pizzas, burgers, bagels, chocolates, like every food I could get my hands on to get to 4,000 calories. There were so many days where I'd sit in my kitchen and I would just stuff my face. I would just eat as much as I physically could, until I literally threw up some days. Some days I'd eat, and then I'd hit the 4,000 calorie mark. I'd go to the toilet, try brush my teeth, and I'd just throw up. And this wasn't like once a week or something. This was regular, like 3-4 days a week. This was happening. And it sucked, I can't lie. It sucked bulking that much. I hated it, but I used food as sort of a comfort. As like I said, my brother was ill still. My brother was ill for a long time, and I was starting to go through like grief. Even when my brother's still alive to this day, I experienced a lot of grief. I experienced a lot of like what's the first stage? I think the first stage of grief is like denial, then anger, then like depression, then acceptance. Yeah, then acceptance. And the denial stage is when I was like, can't you just fix it? The anger stage, I think I just let my anger out in the gym, and I didn't have much of an anger stage. But then I hit this sort of like depressive stage. Where I just felt sad, and I just felt every time I was like in my house, I just felt really sad, and I really hated it. And at the same time, I was bulking, eating 4,000 calories, and I somehow used food as a mechanism to try help my sadness and try like fix it. And it obviously didn't work. It just made me gain loads of fat and loads of weight. But that's what I was doing every time. I'd feel pretty sad, and I'd just stuff my face. I'd just eat as much as I could, and the thing is, I was like in good shape when I hit 100 kg. I made so much progress. I wasn't skinny anymore. Now I was going the other end of the spectrum. I was starting to gain weight and gain size, but too much. I was starting to get a belly, get chubby cheeks, just get heavier and heavier, and just lose, like, I was in all right shape when I started the gym. Like, when I was benching 100 kg, I was in pretty good shape for 16. And now I was starting to lose it, and I was starting to get too big, too heavy, and it weren't working well. And I remember I was starting to rep out 100 kg. I was getting really strong now. But I got to the 95 kg mark. And when I was at this mark, two things hit it for me. First, I just looked in the mirror, like did a push session, repped 100 kg and all. I just looked in the mirror and I just felt insecure. I just felt chubby. I felt fat. I felt way too bulky, way too chubby. And I hated it. It sucked. I was like, I just didn't like looking in the mirror like that. I was like, I prefer to be skinny than what I'm looking like now. And then the second thing is, after this moment happened, I was like, okay, New Year's resolution. I'm just going to run every day. I'm going to David Gordon's mindset, run every day, and it's going to lose the weight. I'm going to get shredded. And the first run I ever do, it was New Year's Eve. So this has been my first year in the gym. Fit New Year's Eve, and I'm running, and I can't lie, I'm so slow, so sluggish. My quads, my calves, everything's killing me. I don't have any athleticism to me at all. I remember I couldn't sprint. I used to be that fast kid. Now I just couldn't move that fast. I couldn't sprint or do nothing like that. And this was a wake-up call where I was like, I'm just done with the gym. I don't want to be a bodybuilder. I don't want to be this heavy. Instead, I just want to like look in good shape to be attractive to females, really. I just want to look wham for that reason only, and there's not much more to it for me. I just want to be athletic as well and be able to run fast and do stuff. And as I'm at this 95 kg thing, I'm starting to go to college now, and I do welding. It's like the type of engineering where you have like a hot torch and you like blend two metals together, and I absolutely hate it. I can't lie. It's not like my teacher's bad or nothing. It's just, I hate the welding. I hate getting dirty. I hate how warm it is. I hate how you have to wear gloves. I hate how the sparks hit the back of your head. Everything about it, I dislike. This probably added to like the sadness that I had in my life and the tears I had. And I remember, such a weird memory, this came up. One day after my welding thing, I don't know why I did this, but I just went and I tried to chat to this girl. Like, I never knew her, I never spoke to her, but I just tried to chat to her, and she denied me. And I was like, that sucks. Like, that hurt a lot, because that was the first time I ever got denied. And I was walking home, and then I had parents evening the same day. And my welding teacher was like, he wasn't even harsh to me, but he was just like, I wasn't doing well or whatever. I wasn't showing up or something, or I wasn't trying as hard as I could. And those two combinations just made me like, as I was walking home, it was pouring down with rain, and I just cried. I was just done with everything. I was really disliking everything. I was 95 kg at the time, and everything just crumbled for me. It really broke me down at that point. And like, everything just sucked, really. Everything just hurt and sucked, and I didn't like it at all. And then I hit that point, and I think I went on holiday. Like, after that point happened, like only a week or two after that point happened. And I went on holiday, and when I came back, I sort of just had a fresh mindset, and I started doing boxing, I started doing cardio, I started doing running. I started even trying to eat healthier, and all these four things accumulated, and I was really determined to be a professional boxer now, be a world champion boxer. I was training hard for it. I was doing 2 sessions a day, one by myself and one with like a coach and stuff. And I was doing that, and I was actually getting quite good at boxing. I got told I was quite naturally gifted. I had this just attribute of just being good at stuff. And boxing clearly was working for me, so I was getting quite good at boxing. I was making a lot of progress with it. And I lost like a lot of weight in a short period of time. I went from 95 kg to about 73 in probably 4 to 6 months. It really didn't take me long at all. But at the same time, I just stopped binging. I just stopped eating so much junk instead. I just started training so much, started feeling so much happier, and I just cut out a lot of the junk food. I was still having a pizza once in a while and whatnot, but I just lost a lot of weight by doing that. And I was just doing this boxing. I was at 73 kg and I was training. I remember doing sparring once and just getting my head battered in. Like, I remember this guy just jabbing me and I just couldn't hit him. He was way taller than me, but I just remember swinging and never being able to hit him and him just battering me. And I sort of got to a point where, like, boxing was fun. I did it for like 4-5 months. I got to a point like, this is actually good fun, but I'm kind of bored of it now. I'm kind of over that hump of, I want to be a world champion boxer and I just want to do the next thing again. And I was wondering, what is the next thing? What would I do? And I was like, I may just go back to the gym, just try gain muscle the right way, try get my dream physique. As this whole time when I had all these different ideas, the professional bodybuilder, the boxing, the welder, all of this, like, I always wanted to record stuff. I always wanted to document stuff. I always wanted to be on social media. I guess because I just saw so many people on social media, so many people doing different stuff. I just wanted to do it myself. I thought that would be cool to do it myself. And I went back to the gym and I was like, I was at 73 kg. And I was like, okay, let me get some muscle. And then I'll start posting on social media. So I literally changed everything. I don't eat loads of crap anymore. Instead, I do this thing called like clean bulking, where you just eat healthy foods and you bulk up with these. And I'm doing this and I'm actually making so much progress in the gym. Like, I'm getting so much stronger than before and I'm not gaining that much weight, but I'm getting so much muscle and I'm actually making such good progress in the gym. And I do this till I get to like 80 kg or so. And I'm here now, I'm at 80 kg and I'm actually in sick shape. Like, I'm actually shredded, but I've got muscle and I'm actually feeling pretty proud of how I look. I have these moments where I cheat on my diet for a week or 2 weeks. I keep falling in these ruts, but I keep pulling myself back out and get back on my clean diet. And I'm doing this and I get bored of the gym again. I like the gym, but I'm just bored of it. I don't want to do gym forever. Instead, I'm going to try some other thing. And this is where I fall into CrossFit. This is where it's like cardio times the gym. So you'll do like a rowing machine and then you'll lift some weights, you'll do some push-ups or something. And it's all these workouts that are high intensity, but they're also doing the weights. Sorry about that. They're high intensity, but they're also doing the weights. And I fall into this one called Shred Fast, where it's kettlebells. So you're swinging them, you're doing burpees, you're doing all these jumping arounds and different stuff, and you sweat bollocks, you get proper tired after. And I get so interested in this. And I try to post to social media, I try to post stuff like this, but I always fall off. I feel inconsistent with it. I try to just show videos of me working out, and I did about 7 or so, and then I just gave up. I don't know why, just it was like people were just telling me it's repetitive or this or that, and people kept giving me ideas, and it just made me give up and made me quit. But I was still doing the workouts, so I was still getting in better and better shape, and I was really at like a dream physique at this point. Like, if you showed me at 16 years old, at 9 years old, at whatever age, how I look now at 18 years old, I would be so gassed. I would be so happy with how I look now. But I was still training. I was still trying to find what I wanted to do, what worked for me social media wise, and what I wanted my career to look like. As I finished for welding at this time, this was probably the end of the year. So now I've turned 17. Yeah, so now I've turned 17. And I just quit welding. I was like, why am I doing this in my life? Why am I trying to be a welder? It sucked. And I started to pursue sport. I started to pursue what I enjoyed, and I pursued like all my passions with life. And it was literally sport and health. And that's the only thing I liked. As I look at my life, I look at what I do, and it's like, if I could willingly choose to do anything in my life, I'd just work out all the time. I'd just do sessions all the day. So that's why I thought I want to be a professional boxer, a professional bodybuilder, as all they do is work out and have a fight. But I realised I don't enjoy sports that much. I don't enjoy boxing that much. I don't enjoy bodybuilding that much. Instead, I just enjoy health. I enjoy working out. I enjoy lifting weights. I enjoy eating a clean diet, doing different exercises, learning about different things. That's what I enjoy. I just enjoy a healthy lifestyle, being healthy, doing all this stuff. And I started to learn about sport in college. I quit welding and do sport, and I've become very more purposeful and unlost in my life. As I forgot a lot of details, I can't lie, but I felt very lost for a long time in my life after I literally stopped bulking to 95 kg. From that point there, after I stopped doing boxing, from that point there to now, I struggled a lot to find the right workout for me. I struggled to find what I actually enjoy, as I don't know what I'm training for. I don't know what I'm doing. And I still have this now, even. I still have this lostness, but I know what I want to do in my life. I know who I want to help. I know I want to help people with fitness, with health, with diet, with becoming healthy, as I've seen the benefits done for me. So I'm confident I speak to so many people. I just feel confident with who I am. I don't feel scared of people anymore. I don't feel shy. I don't feel anxious. I don't feel none of it. And I sort of find that with myself. I find a purpose of what I want to achieve, what I want to do. And it all did start with a gym. It all did start with working out. And there's so many details I've missed. There's so many things I've not gone through. But the gym really just gave me a purpose, gave me a meaning. As working out, getting in good shape, it gave me confidence. It made me like have more respect from friends, get more goals, all of that. But it had this thing of just meaning, just like life. It gave me something to achieve, something to strive for, something to do every day. As I've spent so many hours scrolling on my phone, wasting it on Instagram. But now I go for runs, now I go to the gym, now I just do something a bit more productive than scrolling on Instagram, and it feels so good to do that. So I said there was 3 lessons to learn here. The first one would be to commit 100% to something. It's the first time I committed to 100% to something was when I did a 100 kg bench press, when I tried to achieve that goal. And that went incredibly well. I saw more progress than I've ever seen before in anything. I just reached new heights committing to that. The second thing you probably didn't learn this from a thing, but would be to document your progress. As this whole time I've been speaking, I've been getting different memories, I've been seeing different things, hearing different things, and just like recording your progress from the start. I wish I did it. As I was discouraged and I didn't want to do it, I stopped doing it for a while, but I wish I did it the whole time. As I'm glad I'm doing it now, and I've made this and whatnot, but I wish I started when I started the gym, or when I started. Everyone wishes they started when they started the gym. As even if you don't post it, even if you don't do any of that, you don't need to do that. Instead, just taking a progress photo once a week for your whole gym journey would be amazing. You just keep looking at yourself and see such a transformation. It would feel so cool. And the last thing is to just have fun with it, to just find what you enjoy and find what you want to pursue. As I did bodybuilding, I did boxing, I did all of that, and I could have stayed disciplined, I could have stayed committed to it, but I just didn't want to pursue it. I didn't want to be a bodybuilder when I'm older, so yeah, it made me kept changing, made me kept doing new things, and yeah, it just taught me a lot though, and that's what I think the gym is I think the lesson you can learn from this is the gym, like, when I think of a gym, when I think of working out, when I think of all of this, the transformation I made, I don't actually think of like how it benefited me in the sense of like looking better made more people speak to me, or looking better, having more muscle made more girls talk to me or be reciprocal to me. That, it just doesn't really matter, I can't lie. Instead, there's so many benefits of a gym that I like: purpose, meaning, just life, just the quality of life, happiness. This is what I think the gym is really about, and that's why I think you got to do stuff you enjoy, you got to document your progress, and you got to pursue what lights a fire under you, what makes you want to do it every day. So I don't know if this video has helped you at all, if this video's just been interesting to watch someone waffle for however long it's been. And yeah, so that was really all. Thank you for watching, and yeah, I hope you leave on a good note, and I hope you have a good life. I don't know why I said that.